next melding.
Okay, so this is breakfast in Syria every day. You've got hummus, some labneh, some fried eggs, cheese, string cheese, pickled aubergines, bread, salad, tea or coffee. This is amazing, and it's only $4. I could get used to this. Before we get deeper into Damascus, I want to rewind for a moment because in the last video, I didn't get to properly explain the Syrian border crossing, as well as the visa on arrival process in Syria. And I know this is something a lot of people are curious about. So let me walk you through this process step by step, exactly how it happened for us. We reached the border on the Lebanese side at Masna, which is the main border crossing between Lebanon and Syria. On the Lebanese side, the process was very straightforward. You get off the bus, hand over your passport, get your exit stamp, and that's it. No drama, no questions. From there, you physically cross over to the Syrian side. Once on the Syrian side, things are more structured than you would expect. There are different queues, one for Syrians and Arabs, another one for Lebanese, one for foreigners, and a separate line for groups. Since we were on a group tour, we went into the group queue. Our Syrian guides already had all the paperwork ready, which honestly makes a huge difference. One by one, we went up to the immigration officer. He looked up our nationality and then handed each one of us a small chit with the visa fee written on it. For me, as an American passport holder, the visa fee was $200 for a single entry visa. Brits in our group paid $150. Singaporeans paid about $75. So the pricing clearly varies by nationality, and this is important. Because these fees are evolving, so always check the most current information before you travel. The visa fee must be paid in US dollars, and here's something I didn't know until I got there. They only accept new US dollar bills. Old or damaged notes are not accepted anywhere in this part of the region, so make sure you're carrying crisp, newer, unmarked bills. Once you have that chit, you wait for your name to be called and head into a caged room they call the bank. That's where you pay the visa fee. After payment, they give you a green slip, which is your proof of payment. The next step is critical. You take that green slip back to the previous immigration window so they can stamp your passport. One person in our group forgot to do this and had to go all the way back to the border to get stamped. Trust me, don't skip this step. All in all, the process took about 30 to 45 minutes. That includes a couple of delays, but other than that, we would have made it maybe in 30 minutes, I would think. Honestly, given how new and fluid all of this still is, the process felt surprisingly organized and streamlined, especially if you're traveling with a guide. So on my way back, I took a taxi and the driver walked me through the whole process. It took me about 25 minutes end to end. It was really, really streamlined. So having local guides makes this infinitely easier. So that's the full end-to-end process. Beirut to Damascus, border crossing, visa on arrival, exactly as we experienced it. One last thing, as soon as you cross onto the Syrian side, there are a couple of stores. I think one of them is called MTN, and I forgot what the other one's called. These are cell phone or SIM card providers. As of the time we went there, you could get an eSIM as a foreigner. What I read now is that you can only get a physical SIM, so make sure you have a phone that accepts a physical SIM and is not network locked. So I had an iPhone 17 and a Samsung Galaxy S25. The iPhone 17 was not carrier locked. Unfortunately, that was the only one that took an eSIM, so I couldn't use that phone. Whereas the Samsung, which had a slot for a physical SIM, was locked to my carrier in the US, AT&T, so it wouldn't get network or signal on the local MTN SIM. So that's where you would get a SIM card. You could obviously get a SIM card in the city as well, but they do have those counters outside the border crossing. So it's another thing to keep in mind. So yeah, that's it. That's the end-to-end process. This is one of the strangest places I've visited in Damascus, a North Korean museum. Inside, the art is bold, dramatic, almost theatrical. It's propaganda, yes, but also a fascinating reminder of how art is used to shape reality, power, and national identity. Seeing this here in Syria feels unexpected and deeply symbolic. Massive oil paintings show heroic workers, soldiers, and leaders frozen in moments of triumph. Every face is perfect, every scene idealized. This is Jobar. Just a few minutes from central Damascus, and yet it feels like a different world. What you're seeing isn't the result of time or neglect. It's the aftermath of years of brutal urban warfare. Jobar was one of the front lines of the conflict, fought over street by street, tunnel by tunnel. Airstrikes, artillery, and ground battles reduced entire neighborhoods to concrete skeletons. There's an eerie silence here now. No markets, no laughter, just collapsed homes and memories buried under rubble. This is Abu Saleh. He was born here, he fled, and now he's returned to rebuild of what's left of his life.
Okay, we'll drive now to the beginning of Jobar district, and we will talk while we are driving through. This Jobar district population was about 450,000 people living here.
Like 500,000.
Yeah. In 2018, all displaced. No one anymore lives here, part of me. And this is the main entrance.
So this was Assad or Daesh? Who did this?
No, we have no Daesh in this area.
Okay, so just Assad.
Only Assad. And all this destruction you see done by Assad army. There are a lot of rumors about Jobars. People say it has been sold to Israel, it has been sold to Iran, we don't know what. They didn't leave anything for people to come back.
Even the ceramic
The tiles inside.
tiles. Yeah.
This is your house? This is a shop. This street called Manto Market.
Market.
And it was a good market here.
This was once his home. Today, it's barely standing. Walls cracked, ceilings gone, furniture improvised from scrap.
You see, all the ceilings here were hammered to steel
The iron rods.
the iron bars. All of it, you will see it from upstairs. This is how they hammered it. This is Assad army.
After everyone left.
Yeah.
What was this one?
This flat was room. This was the living room.
And how many people lived here? When you lived here?
Me and my family.
Okay, so how many people would that be?
5 of us.
5, okay.
This building I inherited from my father.
In the middle of devastation, Abu Saleh is rebuilding. Slowly, quietly, one brick at a time. There's no grid electricity, no infrastructure. Everything he has runs off a small solar battery. Light, phone, hope.
We did checkpoints. Stayed home, you know? Because you could really get arrested just because you are from Jobar. Not necessarily you participated in revolution against the regime or anything. Just the fact that you are from here or Ghouta, you can get arrested. That's why we have our prisons. That's why we have our, prisons full of people. When they liberated Syria in December, they opened
I saw videos
all
of
the gates of the prison.
Yeah.
They liberated everybody.
So while we were in Jobar as a group and we were taking pictures and videos and looking around, there was an official of the local militia who stopped us, and he did speak to our guides. They were in a conversation for about 15-20 minutes, looked at all the paperwork that we had from the Ministry of Tourism, and thereafter he told our guides that he's going to send a sentry with us to take us to where we need to go, and that we're not allowed to explore on our own. We then eventually did go to Abu Saleh's home. Even there, as you would see later on in the video, a couple of the guards or officers stopped by later, and they had a long conversation with our guides. Rami explained to us that it's not that they didn't want tourists there. They had two concerns. One is safety, because there may be landmines or other dangerous weapons from the past that might be still active. And the second thing was they wanted the right information to be passed on to tourists, not a convoluted version. So that's where they were coming from. Damascus isn't just a city, it's a timeline. This is widely considered as one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world, with human settlement stretching back more than 11,000 years. The Arameans, Romans, Byzantines, Umayyads, Ottomans, and each one left something behind. Damascus was once the capital of the Umayyad Caliphate, an empire that stretched from Spain to Central Asia. Wars have scarred the city, but they haven't erased it. Damascus endures, not frozen in the past, but carrying its history forward, one stone, one street, one story at a time. For centuries, Damascus sat at the crossroads of trade routes linking Asia, Africa, and Europe. Silk, spices, ideas, and beliefs all passed through these streets. So after the fall of the regime, there was a journalist who came to Syria. When he went back, they asked him on TV, "What do you think of Syria?" He said, "It's a sad story."
A sad story. It is. I
get
think. Yeah. I mean,
No, a sad.
a sad story. So ASSAD.
Come on, Rami.
fell into that trap.
It works both ways, you know.
That was funny.
This is the National Museum of Damascus, one of the most important museums in the Middle East. It brings together artifacts from across Syria's vast history, from prehistoric civilizations to the Islamic Golden Age. Inside, you'll find some of the earliest written texts in human history. During the conflict, many of these artifacts were hidden away for safekeeping. Today, their return is a powerful reminder that Syria's heritage survived, even when everything around it was under threat.
This was built during the time where French occupied or took control of the place. It was in the ancient city of Damascus, but then because it got bigger and bigger and bigger and had a lot of parts, that's why they dedicated this huge spot to build this museum. Fun fact, can you see all the parts here? Not a single one is imported from abroad. All these were found on the Syrian territories. All.
Just casual,
Yes.
so many treasures.
If you go to the Louvre, if you go to St. Petersburg, the Hermitage, If you go to British museum, you will find Syrian stuff. Syrian stuff like the French or the British took it back. And they displayed it there. But here we have like around 10 museums and not a single part is imported from outside. By the way, another fun fact, this is one of the top 10 museums in the world. And this is not a joke. We will go to Palmyra and we will listen to the story of this caravan city in the middle of nowhere. And you know, we have a huge Sinai desert. So if you are taking the Silk Road back in the time, you had to pass by Palmyra. You had to, because it's the only oasis in this huge semi-desert. That's why Palmyra got prosperous a lot. So they ended up having taxation system. So let's say you are getting products from China, you want to bring them all the way to Europe. Let's say you will stop by Palmyra, you can sell them there. There is the Agora forum or the market, but you have to pay taxes. So these panels will show you the commodity and the price, the tax for this commodity to get it inside. And it's written in Greek language and in Palmyrian language. Why Greek language and Palmyrian? Because Greek equaled English to it. Greek was the international language they used 2000 years ago. By the way, those are replica. The authentic ones are in the Hermitage in Saint Petersburg. Yeah, during the Ottoman time, the Ottoman Pasha gave it as a gift for Russia. Guys, have you heard about the robbery that happened in the Louvre?
Yes.
Have you heard about the robbery that happened in Damascus National Museum? No. Actually, it is simultaneous, you know? The same day that happened in the Louvre, it happened here. So it was not really long ago, maybe a month or two. So people stole actually six statues, small statues for Venus from here, and then they shut the museum.
This is the National Museum. Beautiful. It's one of the top 10 museums in the world.
Some of the soldiers that were willing to fight, and he knew he is losing it and going to die, but he sparked the revolution against the French. And you can say that this man, Yusuf Azma, is the reason or the spark that started the journey to get the independence.
1945?
1945, that's right. The Seven Lakes Square. Most of the buildings that you see now, they were built during the French mandate. And you can see the main mountain there, Kasyon Mountain. We used to have access there to have a beautiful landscape over Damascus, but they actually loved it. You know, after the liberation, few months, they allowed people above, but it was the honeymoon, you know, and then they closed everything.
كم واحد يمشي من هون صرف واحد دكه كم واحد من هون
Syria good now? Syria?
يعني 50-50.
50-50? But Daesh gone, right? Daesh is fully gone?
Daesh?
Gone? Here? Gaya, gone.
Gone.
Gone, okay. Inshallah, things are getting better.
Inshallah.
Assad Khalas.
Huh?
Assad Khalas.
Assad, oh.
Yes.
You'll order the entire menu,
We'll try everything and see.
family style.
This is food for... Okay, so we are in Damascus, Syria with some really fun people.
Hi.
The medical students.
Yeah.
It's how common we are,
Yeah.
even though we stay so far away.
Yeah.
We have the gentleman over there who was our translator voluntarily. Hello.
Hi.
You are?
I'm Basil. Nice to meet you all.
Basil.
Yeah. Like in Fulton? Basil. It's like Basil.
Yeah, so it's funny, but we need to see more of this. And we've got some more students here in the back. Hello, guys. So we've got IT, business, civil engineer. And we've got doctors here. I mean, we could start a country.
Yeah, we can make a country.
So I'm standing here at a display of Bashar al-Assad's dominance, monstrosity, and opulence. This Museum of North Korea, which depicts the war of 1973, that was the only time in history when Syria attacked Israel. And I'm thinking to myself, the complexity of this region's geopolitics is not something any of us in the Western world are fully aware of or can comprehend. Right back in history, 2,000 years, 3,000 years ago, there was so much complexity in the region with the Arabs, the Syrians, the Jews, just the Christians, and so many other layers that this region has witnessed. It is only a few rulers, such as Salahuddin in the 1200s, who actually tried to unite this area. A lot of the rulers have thrived by dividing, and that's a principle that history has seen since time immemorial. Divide and conquer. But now when I think of all that this part of the world has to offer, natural resources, people, phenomenal landscapes, it is a pity that not more people know about the Middle East or explore the Middle East. Far from being the terrorists of the world, this part of the world is, I would say, they're victims. They're victims of the West's constant exploitation of precious natural resources in or around their countries. If we really want a world where we have peace, we have unity, we have equality, where we have equal development opportunity for every country, for every religion, for every race, it's time to put this geopolitics away. It's time to start exploring before we make our decisions or our judgments. I'm no philosopher, I'm just a tourist. But even as a tourist, if I can see how beautiful this part of the world is, how much it has to offer, the warmth that people meet you with, the warmth with which they greet you, the warmth with which they feed you, they can't be terrorists. Yeah, I'm sure there are a few rotten apples, but you have them everywhere. You have the same number, if not more, in the West. So, my humble request through this video is, if not all, at least come to one or two of the countries in the Middle East and see for yourself how different this part of the world is from what we've been told by the Western media. It's a reminder that Syria isn't just what we see in the headlines. It's a place of deep history, incredible culture, and everyday people living their lives. I hope this gives you a glimpse beyond the stereotypes. Join me next time as we continue to explore and understand the real Syria, one story at a time. If you like the content on this channel, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps us out.